YouTube, man, what's going on? It's LNH back with another video, and today, man, we gotta talk about it. You guys know there were a ton of G League games going around, but Zaire just had a most recent game, and man, people were coming for him, basically saying that he got exposed. But we gotta break it down and take a look at it. Did this dude really get exposed in this first game, man? Let's check it out. But before I get in this video, man, like the video if you do appreciate these types of vids and the content that I do put out. Now, of course, Zaire, you guys know a lot of people were looking at this dude and were questioning how good he was actually going to do within this G League. Of course, his name has been around. He's the son of Dwayne Wade, and he's going to have that type of clout. And a lot of people are saying that Dwayne Wade basically put him on this team. Now, I can't argue with it partially because it's true. The strings do definitely help. And for sure, Zaire did have some talent. But of course, having his father to get him on that team was really the ultimate way that he was able to have such an easy path to the G League, unlike other hoopers like Jello, even Kyrie Walker as well. Just crazy stories to actually make it on an actual roster. Now, if we took a look at even of any of Zaire Wade's stats prior to coming to actually and playing for the NBA G League, they weren't the best, to be honest. Everyone knows he actually played originally in Florida, where he performed pretty well. I believe he was averaging around 20 points per game, pulled up to California, played at Sierra Canyon with Bronny James. Definitely did not average too many points, scored around 4 points during the season, averaging around 4 points, got injured, and then after getting injured, went to a prep school before he actually took that step to go and play in the G League. And in this case, a lot of people are pointing and looking at the fact that he wasn't playing so well and questioning how would this dude actually perform in the NBA G League. Well, as many of you know, he actually had a game against OKC Blue where he scored 10 points, went 4 for 7 from field goals, and actually scored 3 points. Now, was this dude exposed? Well, I think number one, we have to look at the score of the game and when he was actually in the game. Now, the score was 118 to 63. 118 to 63. That's insane. His team got killed. And that's the thing. Whenever you talk about how many points someone scored, let's look at when they were in the game and, of course, what the score was looking like, because that was not pretty at all. They really got killed that game. Now, in my opinion, and a lot of people believe this too, they're happy to see Zaire Wade on the court. But I think partially it's just tough because whenever you score points, whenever you have games, I think people are now going to hold this over his head more than ever because his father actually helped him to get on this squad. And it's funny enough how he talked about in the past that his number one goal was not to be the son of Dwayne Wade, but be his own man. And then in this case, his father actually helped him get on the team, which is kind of backwards. But hey, if you're trying to get to the NBA and your father has an opportunity to help you, man, I don't blame him for taking it because I probably would have done the same thing if I was him. But in this case, man, some people are even saying he looked a little small on the court. Now, in my opinion, I think this dude is pretty sure he's probably no more than 6'2", if that, maybe 6'1". And I definitely think with that height, it can be tough playing in the NBA, playing against these guys. I mean, he looks like he's knocking down shots for sure, but I think it's one thing to knock down shots and another thing to actually be effective and help your team win. And if his team is getting killed like that, really, I don't know how effective he can actually be on the court. Now, I would say I'm happy for him that he's actually able to play here and do his thing on the court. We're definitely going to have to see more footage of how he plays. Now, he's knocking down shots, but at the end of the day, will he be able to keep a roster spot for this Utah team? Man, I don't know. I'm not too sure if he'll actually be able to stay on the squad, especially if they're losing games like this. You guys know when they lose games, sometimes you got to let players go, and hopefully that doesn't happen to Zaire. I mean, he looked like he was shooting from the field goal pretty well, but man, if you really think about it, Zaire even had 1/6 of his team points, which is pretty good, and which what would lead me to and make me think that if he actually got more playing time, he would actually be able to be more effective on the court. You guys know we look at other hoopers and compare this all the time. People like Jello, when he wasn't really getting playing time, but able to be effective with the PT that he got. And I think in this case, Zaire Wade is for sure being effective with the time and minutes that he actually got. But he's honestly better, in my opinion, than I thought. And a lot of people even stated this. And I think playing well is one thing, but for sure, I think the most obvious thing once we saw him play on the court was how much this this dude weighs. He honestly looks, in my opinion, like a little kid compared to some of the other people on the squad. He almost has more of a high school body as of right now, and I definitely think he's going to need to hit the gym if he wants to be able to hold his own a little bit more and really look like an NBA player, because right now, man, I don't see it. But I'm glad that he actually did step on the court and was able to hoop. But man, this brings me to another topic, specifically about Bronny James. Now, I did see this recently going around, and man, I gotta talk to you guys about this. Now, Bronny James, of course, you guys know a lot of people are stating that this dude is actually not ready to play at the next level based on some of his stats and his college offers. And whenever we talk about the son of an NBA player, you guys know how it goes. But let's take a look at this, man, because a lot of people were posting this, and this was going crazy just a few days ago. Now, it actually shows Bronny's stats and says that he's averaging 6.3 points per game, 0.3 rebounds per game, and his college offers, of course, look like Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, UK, UCLA, all of the big basketball schools. Now, people are looking at him crazy, man, but I got to come to this dude's defense. And even in the comment section, a lot of people were explaining these stats. Now, number one, of course, when you're playing with super good players, it's the same thing when Zaire was playing at Sierra Canyon. Partially, I think whenever you play with such talented hoopers, it's going to be tough for you to average a certain amount of points. You have to base that, because remember, this dude has been playing with competition since he was a freshman. Even if you look at other hoopers who are ranked super highly, again, I think this is a long-term game, and you have to keep that in mind whenever you're hooping. Sometimes even when Mikey Williams was younger, dropping 70 points in a game, but playing against not the best competition, what does that really do for you? But when you sharpen your iron, play against super good players all the time, it's just going to make you better, so that when you do get an opportunity to really show out, you maximize that opportunity and you do your thing, and you're much more prepared for any type of situation. So when I really look at it for a long-term game, I think that's what matters. Now, also, when Bronny went to AAU, you know he was showing out. We can argue and say that, yeah, he was not playing the best in high school basketball, but when he went to AAU, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt, and especially in EYBL, this dude was absolutely scoring points, being pretty aggressive at times, and I think we saw the glimpses of where this dude can really play at the next level if he just turns it up a little bit more. So, man, I gotta come to Bronny's defense on this side, even though you guys know I do say a lot of different things in this opinion and in this video, man. You gotta come clean and tell the truth. Now, I even think the other aspect that people are missing completely is, man, Bronny is gonna make ticket sales for whatever school he goes to. You guys know this. Whatever school he goes to, people are gonna think, oh, it's the son of LeBron, let's see how this dude plays, and they're going to want to be interested in seeing him play. He's basically a celebrity at this point, and I think people forget that schools are a business too, and they're looking to use players as advertisements at times. Maybe that might not be the only reason, but of course that's an attractive reason why they would want to bring Bronny James on, and of course to see what this dude could really develop into. But I'm curious, what do you guys think about this? Of course, both sons of NBA players, and they do have some privilege, we got to give it to them, but man, most people, if they were in that situation, would do the same thing these hoopers are doing. So what do you think about Zaire Wade's most recent game, as well as these stats that were listed for Bronny? Because man, people were going crazy. But make sure you like the video. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Selling H and M out.